Okay, and we are back here. We are going to start reading, and just to show you my graphic organizer again, the part I'm thinking about just right now is her early life. Now, one of the reasons why I really enjoy this book, you're going to see, is that, first, great table of contents. I could go through lots, but we're going to get to go through this as we're going. Big table of contents. You're going to see that it's kind of cool because that's basically this reporter, this bear who is like asking Wilma Rudolph questions. So it's basically kind of like almost going back in time and asking her questions so we get to learn about her. So it's kind of cool. All right. Starts off with this bear saying, "Hi, friends. Today I'm talking to somebody very special. Her name is Wilma Rudolph. Wilma, would you tell us about yourself? We'd love to learn about your life." Wilma says, "Of course. In 1960, I became the first woman to win 3 gold medals in track and field in a single Olympics. After that, people called me the fastest woman on earth. Black people didn't have the same rights as white people then. But when I came home from the Olympics, I was an American hero. My accomplishment was important to me for another reason, too. You see, for much of my childhood, I couldn't walk. I had to work harder than other athletes to run well enough to win races." Okay, that is what a perfect introduction to this book. There are so many just parts in this right now that I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to add some of this stuff because I know this is super important. So even though it's down here, achievement, I'm gonna add it right now. First woman to win 3 gold medals in single Olympics. Yes. And it's for track, and I could write for track and field. But first woman to do that. Let's see here, what else? Now this is gonna be a common theme and a common big thing that was pretty big here. During this time and place, though, it's over on the side. Black people didn't have the same rights as gotta do that again. Okay. All right. Hit the totally wrong button. Okay. People who were black didn't have the same rights. That's just so big. I was gonna try to make it smaller. That's right. I'll get it after. Didn't have the same rights as people who were white. Okay. That's okay. That'd be fine. Okay, so that's a pretty big thing right there. And that's also probably in. Just gonna go back here so I don't lose my book. I also kind of know. I'll save that part about her not being able to walk when she was young. But how did they make a difference? I'm just going to say this. So it's already some big ideas just from this introduction. That's what you're going to see going back and forth. Like between this will be really important. Showed women were also strong and fast. Okay. So I'm going to keep on going here. Good photo. Wilma Rudolph shows off the 3 gold medals she won at the 1960 Olympic Games. Okay, where and when were you born? I was born in a part of Clarksville, Tennessee called St. Bethlehem on June 23rd, 1940. I was number 20 of 22 children. My father had 11 children with his first wife. Then he had 11 more with my mother. So his father was married twice. 22. She had 21 brothers and sisters. I was a tiny baby. I weighed less than 5 pounds when I was born. It's hard to believe that I grew to be nearly 6 feet tall. Crazy. So important details. I can say that she was born in Tennessee on June 23rd, 1940. Pretty big deal. Usually when you're reading biographies, it's always good to just note where and when the person is born. Born on June 23rd, 1940 in Tennessee. It's a pretty big one. Born incredibly small. Okay. Ooh. Wilma, age 6, she's on the right, poses for a photo with her older sister Yvonne. Wilma came from a large family with lots of siblings. Why weren't you able to walk when you were a child? Wilma says, when I was 4 years old, I got very sick. I came down with 3 different illnesses. They are called pneumonia, scarlet fever, and polio. Many children died from polio back then. I was lucky enough to survive, but my left leg was paralyzed. That didn't stop me from getting around, though. I hopped on one foot everywhere I went. The school my brothers and sisters went to wouldn't let me attend because I couldn't walk. I cried every morning when I watched them leave for school. The boy has braces on his legs. His legs were paralyzed when he had polio. Wilma had polio as a child, too. That's a pretty big deal when she was young. Got polio when she was 4. Paralyzed. I think it said the left leg. Make sure I get that detail. Yep. Left leg. Paralyzed in left leg because of it. Now, if you're not sure what paralyzed means you can't use those muscles. So she could not use the muscles in her left leg. How did you learn to walk again? Wilma says, well, every week my mother and I boarded a bus and rode 45 miles to Nashville so I could have physical therapy. We had to sit in the back of the bus because buses were segregated. So this goes back to the not having the same rights. The law said that only white people could sit in the front of buses. When I was 8, I got a metal brace attached to a special shoe. That'll help me to start to take my first steps. Then I was allowed to go to school. When I was 11, I was finally able to walk without the brace. One of the proudest moments of my childhood was the first time I walked down the aisle at the church my family went to. Here, good image, visual. When Wilma and her mother rode the bus to Wilma's appointments, it was against the law for them to sit anywhere except to the back of the bus. This photo shows a segregated bus in the 1950s. So that's going to kind of go into her youth and adulthood a little bit. I'm going to say did physical therapy to learn to walk, or I should say to use left leg, and by age 11 she could. Now, I guess I'm going to keep on pointing this out. Even if you could get 2-3 key details in each of these boxes, that's probably going to get you enough. For some of the boxes, maybe you're only going to be able to get 1. Maybe that's all it's going to be, is just 1 good fact. But you for sure want to get at least 1 in every one of these. But getting 2 in each of these would be even better. But trying to, and you can always do more than 3, but 2 would be a really good goal. If you can only get 1, that's fine. But you really want to try to get something in all of these boxes for everything. And then also, you're noticing I am not copying sentences. I am like reading a bunch, and then I'm stopping and kind of thinking about what I could put in those boxes. Now, in lessons after this one, I definitely will be doing a little bit more reading, and then I'll stop the video to let you think, and then I will do some more filling in. Today, I'm just going to kind of show you This is definitely a lot more guided. I am really kind of showing you what I'm doing, and I'm doing my thinking at the same exact time. I'm going to read just a little bit more, then I'll stop the video so it doesn't get too long here. So, when did you begin to run? Wilma says, I began to run when I was in high school. I also played basketball. I was a very good basketball player. My high school coach called me Skeeter. He said I was small and fast, just like a mosquito. When basketball season was finished, I ran in track events. I was a sprinter, or someone who runs short distances. I won lots of races. I was so fast, I impressed Ed Temple, the track coach at Tennessee State University. He wanted me to be on his team. It was called the Tiger Bells. After Wilma's legs got better, she began running. She was one of the fastest runners at her school. You know what? I'm actually going to stop the video there. And I want you to think about just this page and what I could do to add on to my note taker.